Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my predictions for week 36 Premier League fixtures, and in my opinion, we are in for a treat. We have never been so deep in a Premier League season and we have so much to play for. We still got the relegation battle to look forward to with Everton, Burnley and even Leeds being dragged into it. We've got the Premier League title race between Liverpool, Manchester City and even the top 4 race between Arsenal and Tottenham. So let's see if week 36 Premier League fixtures will give us a clearer picture and a clearer indication of what's actually going to happen and what's going to be the outcome for this season. And for week 36 Premier League fixtures, we are in for a treat. We are in for some amazing games. We got Liverpool versus Tottenham, and we know Liverpool have owned Tottenham for the last 9 fixtures or so, always winning or at least getting a draw. We also got Manchester City versus Newcastle. Manchester City desperately need the 3 points to fend off Liverpool to make sure they're still at bay in terms of the title race. And we even got other amazing games like Burnley versus Aston Villa, the clash of the claret and blue sides. Let's see which team will be able to win. However, before I go on this video and give my predictions, you know what I'm going to say. Make sure you guys like, comment and hit that big subscribe button right there, because actually only 10% of you guys are actually subscribed to my channel. So please hit that subscribe button because it will help my channel grow. And make sure you guys comment and give me your predictions on what do you think is going to be happening in week 36 Premier League fixtures. So the first game I'm going to be predicting, it has to be this. This is the biggest game of the weekend. It's Liverpool versus Tottenham, and we know what's up for stakes. We got Liverpool obviously hunting down Manchester City in terms of the Premier League title race, and we got Tottenham hunting down the arch nemesis, their North London rivals Arsenal, in the top 4 race. So both teams will want to put the pressure on their opposition, and what better way to do it than beat each other in this game to get the 3 points. And let's not make stuff up. We know who the favourites are going into this game. Liverpool have not lost a meaningful game at Anfield all year and have not lost at Anfield in terms of the Premier League season as well. So honestly, how are Spurs going to overcome this, especially with the way Liverpool have been playing recently? Haven't lost in their, was it the last 26 games? Only once, I believe. The last meaningful loss was against Leicester. Free-flowing, entertaining football with Salah, Diaz having a massive impact. You got Mane playing in that false 9 role. So how on earth are Spurs going to be able to beat Liverpool, especially due to the fact that the last time that Spurs were able to beat them was like 9 fixtures ago? So Liverpool have the psychological edge, the psychological advantage, and not just the quality in terms of players and the manager when it comes to this game. Everything's pointed in the favour of a Liverpool win. However, we cannot get carried away with ourselves. We know Spurs are a good team, especially when they play counter-attacking football. We've seen against Manchester City this season, home and away, when they play in their low block counter-attacking football, especially with a specialist like Conte in that 3-4-3 formation. They have so much joy on the counter-attack with a sucker punch of Son and Kane up front. We saw at the Etihad, like I said, Kane had one of his best performances in a Tottenham shirt. So I wouldn't be surprised if these two will be able to form some sort of combination, especially with Liverpool's dangerous high line. We know Liverpool have great success defending with it, but if there's a duo who know how to target that sort of weakness, it is Kane and Son. So going in this game, I'm not going to underestimate this duo because they know what it takes to score goals when the pressure is on the opposition to take the game towards them. However, I just can't see anything but a Liverpool win. Liverpool are in one of those moods, they're in one of those forms, and they've just been excelling and playing absolutely great football. Nothing against Spurs, but we all know Liverpool are on another level. Look at that emotional victory against Villarreal. So even if Tottenham do go ahead at Anfield, we know Liverpool have the personality and the characters in that dressing room to turn a situation around when it's not going in their favour. So going in this game, I can't predict anything but a Liverpool win. It's at Anfield. We have our fans. They will know what this occasion means for us, especially when it comes to the title race. We need 3 points, not 1. So we're not going to be settling for anything less than a victory. So going in this game, nothing against Spurs. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory for the home side, Liverpool FC. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester City versus Newcastle. And we know Manchester City desperately need the 3 points, just like Liverpool, to keep the title rivals at bay, because Manchester City are top of the Premier League currently as we speak. If you ask any Manchester City fan which team you'd want to face, it's a team not fighting relegation, it's a team not in the top 6 or top 4 battle, it's a team in the middle of the table, in the middle of the pack right now, and that is Newcastle. I don't think Manchester City fans and players and even Pep Guardiola could have picked of a better matchup. Not because of the quality Newcastle do not have, because I feel like under Eddie Howe, they have been superb and they've improved, embedding and gelling their great new signings into the side, and they've actually been playing some decent football. But due to the fact that the Newcastle players will have that lack of motivation, they will lack that sort of battle cry to actually challenge Manchester City, because they're not playing for much this season. They're just going to be sitting in the middle of the pack. And also, especially due to the fact that Newcastle have leaped over boundaries, leaped over hurdles the way they have literally been playing, especially coming from a long way since their previous manager Steve Bruce. I just feel like they're psychologically worn down throughout the season now, and I just feel like through the storyline, the narrative they've been going through, the whole owners and stuff, I just feel like they've just reached a point of rest and ease, and they're not going to be able to bring that fight in this game against Manchester City at the Etihad. I know they were able to do this in the tie against Liverpool in the last game, but that was different. That was at St James's Park. They had their roaring crowd cheering for them, so they were able to feed off that sort of exuberance, feed off that sort of energy, and they're not going to be able to have this, especially at the Etihad, where we know Manchester City are going to have the ballpark of possession. And we know when Newcastle surrender, 80% of the ball to Manchester City, it's going to be so hard for the away side Newcastle to break out of their shape and counter-attack with speed and pace and intensity. So going this game, how can I not predict anything but a Manchester City win? The way they've been playing, the way they've been scoring goals, the thing which I found so impressive right now is that they've been getting goals from any player in the squad these days. Players like Ake, who was a bit part player this season, scored an amazing important goal against Leeds. We saw other surprising goal scorers like Rodri, Fernandinho, the holding midfielders were able to get on the act. So the fact that Manchester City are able to get goals from different departments in their squad is absolutely pivotal and absolutely amazing. So even if their players aren't performing well up front, they can always rely on a set piece from some of these squad members. So how can I predict nothing but Manchester City win? We know Foden, Jesus has been playing well ever since he's announced that he's probably leaving Manchester City at the end of the season. So in this game, I'm going to be predicting a home win for Manchester City, a 3-0 straightforward victory for the home side against Newcastle. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Arsenal versus Leeds, and just like Tottenham, Arsenal desperately need the 3 points to continue their pursuit for the top 4 race this season. And it's not like Arsenal are the only team playing for something in this game, it's also Leeds, who are not mathematically safe when it comes to the relegation fight. In fact, they have been sucked into this fight because of the horrific defeat to Manchester City 4-0 in their last fixture. So Leeds need the 3 points. Everton have been picking up some vital results, so Leeds can't be resting on their laurels thinking that the season's over and that they've pretty much secured their seat for Premier League football next season. That hasn't happened yet. They need to keep picking up points. And going this game, I think it's going to be a very difficult game for Leeds to get a point or even win. We know that Arsenal have a superb record at home, only losing 4 games, I believe, to the top 3 and Brighton. So we know they've made it some sort of a fortress, a daunting atmosphere for any side to walk into that stadium and try get a positive result in terms of 3 points. But due to the fact that Arsenal have been building momentum ever since their first victory against Chelsea, ever since that game, they've built some sort of bright spark in the squad. It feels like they've been playing with confidence. They've been playing with some sort of exuberance yet again. So they're going to be looking to build upon this in this game against Leeds. However, the game against West Ham away from home was nothing like that I just described in those other games against Chelsea and Manchester United. Arsenal really had to grind that sort of game out, that sort of result. Players like Holding and Gabriel had to be reliable on the set pieces to score those pivotal, important goals to beat West Ham at the London Stadium. But anything apart from that, their performances wasn't easy to the eye. It wasn't entertaining. It wasn't free-flowing, tiki-taka, 1-2 sort of football. It was a grindy, sort of hard, fought-out victory. And that sort of victory, I feel like, is going to do a world of confidence for this young, inexperienced squad that Arsenal do have at their disposal. They're not really used to sort of grinding results. They have to play well to get good results. But the fact that they can go to stadiums and actually pick up points when they don't play well, that's what you need, especially in this time of the season when you are fighting for just points. Arsenal obviously are the better side. They've been playing way better football and they're filled with confidence, unlike Leeds, who haven't been playing well. Yes, they had a new manager bounce back in terms of confidence and the way they were playing, but apart from that, it just feels like the same old habits, the same old mistakes, the way they've been conceding goals 4 against Manchester City. And we know Manchester City are way better than Arsenal, and Arsenal do not hold the sort of players that Manchester City have in their squad. But we know Arsenal, with freedom and space against elite sides that sometimes love to be expansive and love to be vulnerable at the back, Arsenal can get joy. Yes, Jesse Marsch has ensured that defensively they've been better, but at the end of the day, it hasn't been good enough. With Arsenal having players in good form like El Neni, who stepped in and have a massive impact ever since Partey got injured, other players like Xhaka, the way he's been playing as well, stamping his authority on games. We have the centre-backs like Gabriel as well. The way Arsenal have been playing as a team, I just can't see anything but them winning. Obviously, I'm going to hold the caveat that Arsenal have shown on displays and occasions that sometimes they can be complacent. Look at it, the results against Brighton, Southampton, Crystal Palace, inferior sides, thinking that they're going to be walking into stadiums beating them, and they weren't able to do that. And when it came to the top sides, obviously their backs were against the wall and they were able to get sort of performances to get the results. And we know Leeds aren't the calibre of Chelsea, Manchester United and West Ham. So will Arsenal be complacent again in this fixture like they have been against the inferior sides? Who knows? But I think they'll be able to scrape a win in this game. It's not going to be pretty at home. I don't think they'll be playing free-flowing football throughout the 90 minutes. But I'm going to be predicting a 2-1 victory for the home side. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Burnley versus Aston Villa. And this is the clash of the Claret and Blues. Obviously, this is not a rivalry, but we know Burnley need the 3 points to continue their good form to ensure that they are far away as possible and go in this game. What a massive victory Burnley were able to pull off against Watford. Watford were able to go ahead in this game, winning 1-0 at the time, and it just felt like Watford were going to be able to seal the victory because they were playing way better football. But Burnley showed the heart, the courage, the determination, and the character to stay in the game. If it was under Sean Dyche, dare I say, maybe they would have folded. But the fact that this new manager bounced back and they're able to stay within games. Look at the game against West Ham as well, away from home. They've shown some great personality and character that they're not going to fold. They're playing with togetherness and they're playing with tenacity and they're not going to quit. And the fact that they've been playing like this is obviously going to be a massive factor in deciding whether they can stay in the Premier League this season. Players like O'Neill and Lennon on the wings have improved. Players like Brownhill and Cook obviously got important goals in the game against Watford, the two central midfielders, showing fight and determination to get on the end of the sort of goals, especially Cook. So honestly, everything's all rosy and good at Burnley, and let's see if they can continue their push to survival because they have leapfrogged Leeds as well when it comes to this relegation scrap. And they're at home, they're going to have their fans cheering them on, they have the momentum, it just feels like it's in their favour. And they're versus Aston Villa, who aren't playing for much. Yes, they beat Norwich 2-0, but everyone beats Norwich like 2 or 3-0 these days, so that's nothing to be bragging about. But at the end of the day, Aston Villa, in their last 5 games, except for the Norwich result, they've been absolutely woeful, haven't been playing well, gelling, clicking together like they were earlier on in the year, where they had players like Coutinho, Ramsey, Watkins really clicking and really causing teams a threat. So maybe Steven Gerrard has hit a brick wall, unable to inspire, motivate his Aston Villa players to get out the sort of performances they were showing earlier in the season. So going this game, I think Burnley will be able to get a victory, especially with the fans roaring them, cheering them on, and they'll be able to feed off this sort of energy. So I'm going to be predicting a 2-1 victory at home for Burnley. So the last game I'm going to be predicting is Leicester City versus Everton, and these two teams aren't strangers when it comes to each other. They literally played each other, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it ended in a 1-1 draw at Goodison Park. So these two teams know each other very well, and let's see who will be able to get the result. Everton obviously are playing with much more urgency since they need the 3 points because they're still in this relegation scrap compared to teams like Leeds and Burnley, so they need to play with high spirits, and I think they will. If you saw the last game in their victory against Chelsea, they were able to pull off a 1-0 victory against the European champions. And I know Chelsea have been in woeful form. That's not the point. The point is that Everton were able to beat one of the top sides in the Premier League, and surely this should be a momentum shift and be able to encourage the Everton players and the fans that they could actually stay up and beat Leicester in this pivotal game. We saw it with Arsenal when they beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. That result started Arsenal's flame for this sort of run when it comes to the top 4 race. So Everton could look at Arsenal in a weird sense and be like, you beat Chelsea and you've gone on this great run, why can't we do the same thing? As in we can use this to boost our confidence to beat any teams we've been facing. Players like Richarlison has really embraced this relegation scrap, the way he's been putting all the responsibilities on his shoulders, scoring goals against Leicester City, scoring goals against Chelsea as well. He's really embraced this fight and struggle, and he's been giving the fans something to cheer about and actually give them hope when it comes to this battle. They're versing Leicester City, who we know at the moment have their eyes on the Conference League, and they're not going to be fully focused in this game against Everton. So that's a plus for Everton right there. And I know Everton are away from home, and Frank Lampard away from home record is absolutely abysmal. But if we look at Leicester City's record when it comes to games in the Premier League, they have dropped 28 to 29 points when it comes to winning positions. So when it comes to Everton, they should never count themselves out of games, because Leicester City will always leave that back door open for you to come in and literally steal a point or even 3. So going in this game, I think Everton will be able to get a result. I'm not going to be predicting a victory. I'm not fully confident yet in them, because we know their away record is absolutely abysmal. But I'm going to be predicting a 1-1 draw. Leicester City have not won in the last 4 games when it comes to the Premier League. So surely Everton should be able to pull something off.